And welcome back to the Sooner Surge today, joined by Brody to talk a little bit of OK Preps recruiting. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to click that subscribe button. You see it on your screen. Be sure to click it, turn on your notifications. If you're not already following us on Twitter, be sure to follow us there or X, whatever you want to call it. If Spotify's your thing, go ahead and subscribe on our Spotify as well. We upload our podcasts there as well. But today, OK Prep star Devon Jordan out of Tulsa Union, 4-star cornerback. Uh, Brody, you think he's the next guy to commit from Oklahoma?
Yeah, I do. I think Devin Jordan will be the next in-state commit. I think he's certainly one of the next commits overall, and very underrated cornerback in my opinion. Number 4 player in the state, 5'11", 168. He might be taller than 5'11". That might not be super accurate, but I mean we can go ahead and get into turning the film on here. But Devin Jordan, I mean he's got the tools to be a really good cornerback at the next level. I'd say, he can make an impact pretty quickly at a Union. So I would be shocked if he is not the next commit and or not the next commit, but the next commit on the defensive side of the ball. And when you watch his film, a lot stands out. And one of the things I want to point out about your question you asked me just a second ago is there anyone else in the state Oklahoma is recruiting that's not already committed? So, I think Devin Jordan, he's just another piece to the puzzle for this defensive recruiting class that would be a very big addition.
Yeah, he's a shutdown corner. Watched him play against Westmore. Did not get the ball thrown his way. I don't think the whole game. He had a few tackles that he was having to make when they're not even throwing it his way. He's having to move downfield to make that play. Just overall impressive athlete. Every bit of that 4-star rating at 5'11", about 168 ish. Out of Union. So star player for them. Plays two ways at times when they need him to, but in those kind of blowout games, he's only playing defensively for them.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone saw it, but a couple weeks ago, I think he actually took was it an interception or a kickoff? He's something. He returned it for like 98 yards, or maybe even more than that because he returned it out of the end zone. But he's got the physical tools you want, and this is one that I believe Oklahoma will land. And out of everyone left that they're recruiting on the defensive side of the ball, in particular, I think he's the one I feel the best about right now. And like he's just going to be potentially, if he commits to Oklahoma, another one of those Union defensive backs that comes to OU. Jaden Rowe, by the way, friends with Devin Jordan. That's playing a factor in the Devin Jordan recruitment. His friend Jaden Rowe, former high school teammate in Oklahoma. Trey Brown was from Union, and there's been Patrick Fields, many more. So, yeah, I think landing Devin Jordan top 4 in the state that'd be a big one.
Yeah, Oklahoma doesn't lose out on the Union guys very often. That's the one place in Oklahoma that they recruit at a very high level. They're not letting Union guys go elsewhere, go out of state. I know we've had all these talks about the in-state struggles, the amount of guys that in years past they haven't landed. The one school that they always landed from was Union. I think that will be the same with Devin Jordan. Here's a return from him. I think he got a block there to allow that for that return. They showed earlier him blocking a part of a pump kickoff or not kickoff. I'm sorry, field goal block.
Yeah.
Uh, again, Oklahoma has very good talent already in those special teams rooms when it comes to blocking kicks. Peyton Bowen seems like he does it almost every single game or comes close to doing it. And punt, I know Billy Bowman's had some opportunities in years past to get to those field goal blocks. So to have another guy like Devin Jordan potentially to do that as well is very good.
Yeah, and this is we've talked about it a lot. He's got all the talent that you look for. And this year at Union, he's been solid. And Union, I'm not like, didn't you say you watched him against Westmore and Devin Jordan? He's one of those corners that they're not throwing the ball his way. And so I think a lot of opposing teams know just how talented he is. And, one of the biggest things to me, I think there's just a lot of potential to work with. And we've seen what Jay Valai's done with fellow 918 corner, Gentry Williams. Imagine what he can do with another corner. So right now, Oklahoma cornerback room, they have Jeremiah Newcomb and Eli Bowen, unless I missed someone. Those are the only two corners committed right now. Then potentially you add Devon Jordan, and you're bringing in another three really good cornerbacks.
You mentioned the return that he had. That was last week. He had a 100-yard interception return. So against UConn and that blowout win for the Red Hawks. So again, watching him play, he has that it factor at corner that Jay Valai is looking for, that Brandon Hall is looking for in the secondary, that Brent Venables wants his, Ted Roof as well, that they want their defenders to have. Just the way he goes about it. He looks like a college corner in high school right now. Just his mechanics and all of that, the way he plays in coverage, the way he makes plays on the ball, and the way he makes tackles in open field.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to ask a question for you, and I'll give my opinion on it as well. What do you think the percentage chance that Oklahoma lands Devin Jordan is? And for all of our viewers, everyone who's watching this video, go in the comments below. We want your opinion on the chance of landing Devin Jordan. So, Hunter, let's get your opinion on how likely it is for the Sooners to pull off this commitment.
I'm very confident. But, again, the longer this goes, who knows? Devin Jordan's very quiet. That he's one recruitment. You don't hear much about it. But I know as soon as Danny Okoye committed, first thing he said was, Devin Jordan's next. Like, that's the guy we're going after. That's the guy we're going to get committed. So I think once you add Danny Okoye and David Stone, these other Oklahoma guys, you have Michael Patterson McDonald, Xavier Robinson, Andy Bass, all starting to pursue after Devin Jordan. I think it's going to be hopefully soon. But again, it's hard to know when there isn't much out there about his timeline or anything else like that. I know TCU is a factor as well.
What percentage would you say?
I would say 80%. I'm pretty confident. Like,
I'll go 90%. I think Oklahoma pulls this off, and I know TCU, A&M they might be getting a visit from Devin Jordan. And the way I see it, if he visits TCU, that's kind of a hey. Let me just make sure that TCU isn't better than Oklahoma. So I feel pretty confident that Oklahoma will land Devin Jordan. He was at the Oklahoma game versus Tulsa. Saw him at Chicken and the Wolf before the game. I'm very confident he will be a Sooner and will be the next cornerback to add to the Sooners defensive class this year.
Yeah, I know it was a road game, that Tulsa game, technically. That's not a road game. That was a home game for the Sooners. Anyhow, wasn't at their home stadium. It was home stadium 2.0 or something like that, H.A. Chapman Stadium. So Devon Jordan or Devin Jordan was not allowed to visit for OU there, but to show up, it's Tulsa, but he still showed up to the game. Was at Chicken and the Wolf before the game, like you mentioned. That's very telling because he wasn't allowed to visit on OU's behalf. He would only be allowed to visit for TU, and I don't think TU was allowing anyone to visit that was there to visit for OU. So to make that trip across town still is very telling.
Yeah, I think that goes ahead and wraps it up. Make sure you subscribe because we're going to be talking about even more of Oklahoma's targets in the coming days. We talked about Michael Boganowski. If you haven't already, make sure you go check that one out. Just talked about Devin Jordan. Let us know your thoughts on the Devin Jordan recruitment. Are you as convinced as us that he's going to be a Sooner, or you're not buying it so far? So one thing you should be buying is the Sooner Surge stock. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're going to be continuing putting out all the videos. Make sure you click that notification bell. Again, check us out on X or Twitter. Check us out on Spotify. And, yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. Boomer,